Afternoon everybody, Phil here with another Transformers video review. Today gonna be kind of doing a bit of a review slash feature in that I'm going to focus on one particular figure but kind of compare it to the rest of that line. I made mention in one of my other videos that I was waiting for this particular figure to arrive from China or Taiwan, wherever it was shipped from. It arrived this morning. And I've had a bit of a play around with it, and I think it's pretty damn awesome. So, enough of the talking. Let's introduce the figure. It is, of course, let me just get him stood up. Masterpiece Megatron. Now, this has been kind of my on my wish list for, I think I mentioned before, it's been on there for years, but I've just never had the money to buy it. I've never been able to afford it. Well, as soon as I started my new job, as I've said, I've had the money, so I thought, do you know what, while I've got it, I'm going to enjoy it, and I bought him. And it arrived in the country about 2 weeks ago, but just getting it delivered to my house has been a nightmare, because the depot of the company that delivered it was in Chesterfield, which is a few miles away from here. And they don't deliver on Saturdays, so basically I've had to wait until the summer holidays so that I could guarantee I'd be in for them to deliver it. And every time I've tried before that, you know, something's come up and there's been nobody in, so you know, it's taken 2 weeks, but it's finally here. Like I say, I got it this morning, it arrived, and it's now kind of early evening, so I've had it for a few hours and I've transformed it a couple of times, and I have to say, I really do like it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It cost me just under £100. I think it was, it might have been bang on, it might have been £100 and something pence. Excuse me. But I've seen them going for kind of starting prices of 120 quid or, you know, 130 quid. So to get it for 100 including postage, I thought that's a deal I can't let that go, so I bought it. In terms of sculpt, the thing that I didn't like about it when I first saw pictures is the legs are very thin. I mean, I don't have a G1 Megatron or a picture of G1 Megatron to hand, but he always had quite bulky legs, and this one in particular has quite spindly legs. A decent upper half and a cracking head sculpt, but just really spindly legs. And he does lean a little bit when you've got the fusion cannon on, because the fusion cannon is absolutely massive. So it does lean a little bit to his right, or the left as we're looking at it. I don't know if you can quite see that. It does have a bit of a lean, just where the weight's kind of being pulled over to one side. But generally you can see there he's, I mean, he's not going to fall over, he's pretty sturdy. He'll stay up as long as you kind of get him in a decent supporting pose, even with the arm cannon and the fusion cannon there. Now, before I bought this, I did watch some video reviews on YouTube just to make sure that it was something that I was willing to spend 100 quid on. And people, kind of the main complaint that people have was that it's quite flimsy and that it broke. I remember Diansis writing recording quite a angry video about him breaking his. Now, I don't know what he did to his to break it, but I've had no problems with mine whatsoever. The instructions aren't great, as it just kind of shows you the pictures, and they're not that big, and, you know, I mean, like regular Transformers instructions are just pictures anyway, but I don't know, it just seems something a little bit different about this one. So yeah, it's delicate, and he's not meant to be played with. He can't be transformed as quickly as like Classics Bumblebee, or, you know, one of the Revenge of the Fallen figures, or a Scout Class or something like that. But you take your time about it, you know, and you don't kind of press too hard, and you make sure everything's lined up first, and don't force anything. And he's very easy to transform, and he doesn't feel like breaking. There are a couple of bits where you have to apply some force to get the joints out. But as long as you have your fingers in the right place to support the joints that aren't, or that are taking all the pressure, that aren't involved in the transformation but are perhaps load-bearing joints. The one big complaint I have, guys, that during transformation, I think I should be able to see if I can just get it. I'll just slide his fusion cannon off for a minute. see if this actually works. It should do. There we are. Now, see if you can see this clearly. Just get the camera back up. Where are we? This bit here, where my middle finger is on, that is kind of the join. It's the only thing at certain points of transformation into gun mode. That is what connects the upper half and the lower half. So that connects the legs to the torso, just that one piece of metal. So I can understand why some people have had problems with breakage, because it is a load bearing joint and that's all that connects the two pieces. But like I say, as long as you're not too vigorous with it and you treat it just with care, and you don't put too much pressure on load bearing joints, you're going to be absolutely fine. I've had no problems and I've transformed it a couple of times now. It might take a little bit of time, but you just need to be a little bit careful with it. Anyway, so that's Masterpiece Megatron. What I want to do is kind of bring in the other masterpieces, because there's only 4 of them, 4 main moulds. There's Grimlock, Megatron, Optimus Prime and Starscream. That's 4. I've got 4, all 4 of them, but I have Skywarp, not Starscream. See if I can get them all in one shot. The thing that I like about Megatron is he's actually a little bit, only a little bit, but just a tiny bit taller than Prime, which is kind of like, I think I said in one of my reviews quite a while ago, like last year sometime, that good guys being smaller than bad guys is something that kind of, it just works because it obviously gives more of the underdog feel. Obviously Starscream and Grimlock are kind of exceptions to the rule, but one thing I don't like about Skywarp is the fact that his feet are horrible to pose. So anyway, those are the 4 masterpieces. You can see Skywarp is by far the smallest. He's a good inch to the head, maybe half an inch smaller than Grimlock. And then you've got Megatron, and you can't really get the perspective right in this video, but Megatron is taller, not by a lot, but he's definitely taller. Those 2 fit in well with each other, and those 2 fit in well with each other. But overall, as 4 figures, they are far too badly out of scale. Transformation wise, I'd say Optimus is the easiest, followed by Grimlock, then Starscream or Skywarp, and then Megatron. Megatron is the hardest, but he's not impossible. And what I might do is, we're already nearly 8 minutes on this video, but I'll perhaps transform him and do a gun review as well. But obviously it's probably going to take me more than 10 minutes to transform him into gun mode, because he is quite fiddly. But those are the 4 masterpieces, and the only one that isn't a masterpiece technically is Optimus. He's the DVD release, the 25th anniversary, whichever one it was, 20th, 25th, I don't know. The one that came with the talking display base that said lines from the movie. And I've just removed Optimus, and I didn't mean to do that. And I think you've all seen my bed. Very nice. But anyway, those are the 2 by far kind of the masterpieces that I was most interested in getting. And next to each other, they do look pretty damn good. I'm not going to show all of Megatron's accessories because there are numerous other videos on YouTube that I've got those all in. But he comes with Kremzik, he comes with his energy mace, the pistol that killed Optimus Prime in the movie, his sword, his Energon sword, whatever you want to call it, his fusion cannon, and I believe that's it. There's no base or anything like that, no stand or anything, but like I say, you get him in the right position and he stands up fine. And next to Optimus, he does look absolutely fantastic. If I get a wide enough shot, Megatron's legs, when compared to Prime's, are a little bit spindly. That's the main issue I've got with it. But in terms of just the way it looks, in terms of the way it looks, I think they look absolutely brilliant together. So I might get it transformed and do its own gun review, but until then, we'll see what happens, and stay safe.